Wintertime can be a little bit of a challenge for a reptile keeper. The cold, dry climate outside can also have a very strong effect on the climate inside of your home. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys a few tips and tricks that I use to help my reptiles get through the winter, and a few adjustments that I like to make to their enclosures to make sure that their heat and humidity is stable. Alright guys, so the first subject we're going to talk about today is humidity. So during the colder months, one of the first things I like to do, especially on my Accie's enclosure, is to make sure that the vents in my Accie's enclosure are completely closed. So I'm going to take you guys actually to the outside of the enclosure, and apparently Thunder here wants to accompany you guys. Okay, let's see. So if you look on this side here, you can see that all of the vents that I have on this enclosure are completely sealed with a little bit of duct tape. Now, the reason that I do that is to make sure that no humidity is escaping, because during the winter time, it's going to escape from the enclosure much faster due to the dry air outside of the enclosure. Well, the reason I do that is because of, well, the condition that this guy's in now. If you look at him right now, he's in shed. And the thing about Ackies is they actually don't drink water that often. They barely ever drink from a body of water. So most of their moisture is held in the water vapor. Water vapor, as far as the air in their enclosure, and also in their substrate. So that moisture can dry out very quickly in the wintertime. And the thing is, that can have a lot of negative effects on this guy's body. For example, if he can't shed properly due to the enclosure being too dry, he'll have issues with his toes, he'll have issues with his tail. And if you look at my guy here, let's see if he'll let me get a look at one of his feet. Maybe I'll get lucky, maybe he'll put his foot up. Okay, now you can see just fine right there. See, he has all his toes. Let's see if I can get another one of you. Another good look at your claws right here. If this will focus in, come on, do it for me. Okay, cool, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Aha, let's see, you can see all 5 of his little toes right there. And if you look at his back feet, let's get a look at this guy here. Yep, you see all 5 right there, perfectly fine. I just like to do this, guys, so that way someone's just like, no, it's not, one's missing. And then I'll be like, get super stressed out. And it's like, wait, is something wrong with my animal? But if you look, you see all his fingers, toes, and the tip of his tail are perfectly fine. So that's the reason that I do that, guys. It's always good to make sure that your animal is 100% stable during the winter time. So guys, here's another example. So here's my Indonesian blue-tongued skink. And if you look at the top of his enclosure here, you'll see that the entire top of his enclosure here, well, I'd say about 3/4 of it, is closed off with foil tape. And the reason that I do that is because I don't want any humidity escaping from up here either. Now, one thing I did right here is cut this strip right here in the middle, so that way his UV light can shine all the way from the top of the enclosure. But if you look at the top from here, majority of it is closed off, and that holds a lot of humidity during the wintertime. Now, these guys in particularly do very, very bad when the enclosure is dry. If you look at my Ackie Monitor, Ackie Monitors are more from an arid climate, but those guys burrow into the ground to get their humidity. So they can actually withstand a wide range of humidity, where Indonesian blue-tongued skinks actually have a higher requirement for humidity. These guys need their humidity to be anywhere between 60 to 90%. Another thing that I like to do in order to combat the dry air during the wintertime is to add a simple humidifier to the room. So basically you just grab a humidifier, fill it up with water, turn the thing on, and what that's gonna do is that's gonna lower the amount of humidity that escapes from your animal's enclosure, because it's going to increase the amount of humidity in the air of the room that they're held in. One thing I like to do during the winter time is to make sure my reptiles have plenty of fresh drinking water readily available to them. So if you look right here, all of my water bowls are topped off, full of water. And the thing is, I use nice deep bowls. Now, if I was using any type of shallow water bowl during the summertime, this would be a good time to swap those bowls out and add something that's nice and deep, just so that way the water doesn't evaporate so quickly. Just so that way, if you have a really busy day at work, or if you wind up going out one day and you forget to top off the water, your animal will still have plenty of moisture that it can tap into whenever it feels the need. Along with spraying down your animal's enclosure and make sure that they have plenty of drinking water, you can also add something like an automatic mister to your enclosure. So that way, if you work a very busy job and you want to make sure that your reptile's enclosure has plenty of moisture, you can add something that'll automatically add water to the enclosure for you without you needing to worry so much, and always be present to make sure that your animal has moisture. So guys, if you want to get an automatic mister, I would highly suggest getting one of those Mist King automatic misters. Wow, and he's trying to eat the leather on my watch. Okay, Thunder, can you not do that, maybe? Buddy. A brand that I would actually suggest would be those Mist King automatic misters. They're a little pricey, but they're supposed to be very, very high quality, and I've been hearing a lot of good feedback about those. I've actually been suggested to get one of those for myself as well. Okay, Thunder. All right, buddy. So yeah, later on when I build Thunder's new enclosure, that may be something that I incorporate for his enclosure, just so that way, if I'm busy at work and I don't get home in time, or if I'm just forgetful, this guy will be getting all the moisture that he needs, especially during the winter months. As far as heat, during the winter time, one thing that you guys can do to make sure that your temperatures are nice and warm inside the animal's enclosure is to double up on your heat. Now there's multiple ways you can do this. You can always add a stronger bulb. Now, if you guys do decide to use a higher wattage bulb during the winter time, please make sure you have a trusty temperature gun around to test these temperatures out, to make sure that your basking temperatures aren't spiking too high and that they're in a safe range for your reptile. Prime example right here. So Panther's bulb that he uses right now is a mercury vapor bulb. Hence one reason why this entire thing right here isn't closed off. Now, during the winter months, back in the day, what I used to do was I would change his 80-watt mercury vapor bulb and put in a 120 every year for the winter time. But once he got bigger, what I decided to do was make sure that he had a nice ceramic heat emitter right there. And what I'll do during the winter time, sometimes if it's getting too chilly in here, I'll turn both of these on. And what that'll do is that'll give him a nice wide basking spot, so that way if it's a little chilly in here, not only is basking spot warm enough, but it's also big enough for him to thermoregulate properly and stay nice and healthy through these tough winter months. Well everybody, I hope you liked this video on how to take care of your reptiles during the winter, and I hope those little tips and tricks I gave you will help you guys keep your reptiles happy and healthy throughout all of the cold winter months. This is Scales 13, and this is Tiny Tim. Everybody have a great day. Happy holidays.